Saturday mornings were her usual market days. Long, long ago in Lesedi village, a farming community surrounded by lots of greenery and gentle hills, two young girls by names Anika and Jubilo lived with their families. Though they lived in Lesedi, they had their formal education in a town called Akuya, not far from their village. Despite their very different personalities, their friendship was a treasure and a source of strength for both girls. Their dream of becoming registered nurses in future pushed them to put in extra work by signing up for vacation classes. Jubilo was a lovely but impatient soul. Despite her rudeness, she was driven and determined to succeed in life. Anika, on the other hand, was a gentle soul, often ready with a kind word and a warm smile. She had a way of making people feel cared for. Both girls grew up with their fathers and came from average backgrounds. Jubilo's parents got a divorce when she was 5 years old. Her father did his best to give her all she needed, though life was generally tough. Her parents argued very often. Jubilo's mother married her father when she had just gotten out of another relationship. He never remarried. Though she missed her mother very often, her grandparents were always there for her. They made her childhood a memorable one. When they finally enrolled in nursing school, the excitement knew no bounds. They were determined despite the challenges they went through in nursing school for 3 years. Students from nearby villages and towns enrolled as well. The competition in class was so high. One could not afford to miss classes. The girls never gave up. Finally, after 3 years of hard work, they were done, ready to step out to save lives. They were overjoyed. National service at Akuya Hospital. Anika's soft and infectious smile drew patients closer. She had a genuine desire to help. For Anika, this was not a job. It was a calling she gladly responded to. Jubilo was also nice to patients, despite her struggle with rudeness from time to time. During her first week of work at Akuya Hospital, Anika met a doctor by name Dr. Dave. He had noticed her the very first day she stepped in the hospital and had been admiring her. One morning, as Jubilo attended to patients, she got upset with one man who was in a hurry. "Sir, which language do you speak? What don't you understand? I said, sit down." On some days, even children were not spared. She kept on with this behavior and seemed to be getting away with it. Even some of her colleagues were unable to stand her. She couldn't be bothered. As the two friends took a stroll around the hostel one afternoon, not too far from the hospital, Anika asked Jubilee why she treated some patients and colleagues at work the way she did and advised her to stop. Jubilee responded by saying she didn't know why. "I have always been like this. I miss my mom. I remember her arguing a lot with my father too. I wish I could change." "You can," Anika said. Meanwhile, the famous bakery was busy baking fresh bread daily to students, nurses, doctors, almost half the population living in Akuya. Jubilee's happy moments were at the hostel where she would sit and have fun with Anika and other friends. On some days, Zangi and others would join in. They would dance to their favorite tunes and even imitate some of their colleagues sometimes. The much-awaited food festival was fast approaching in Lesedi. The two girls were excited and spent a lot of time talking about how much food would be in abundance. They couldn't wait. Dr. Dave often ran into Anika during his ward rounds. He had started admiring her the more, and it was mutual. Some time later, Anika's father passed by the hospital for a checkup and asked of Dr. Dave. Both men were pleased to meet each other. Dr. Dave expressed his admiration for Anika Her father, sensing his genuine admiration for his daughter, offered his support and agreed for him to get closer to her. As time went by, he took her to lunch. They started bonding from there. One of Anika's patients, who had been ill for some time but had started showing signs of improvement, suddenly passed away. She couldn't take the news as Jubilo tried consoling her. For her patients were like family. Jubilo panicked on hearing rumors that the senior nursing officer on duty had been informed about her poor attitude at work. She was called and given a serious warning about the repercussions of her behavior. She got scared and from that day vowed not to go back to her old ways. Jubilo had the chance to prove this as she started working on her temper. That weekend, the food festival in Lesedi started amidst drumming and dancing. As usual, food was in abundance as every family prepared delicious meals to share. It was all joy. Childhood friends reconnected. People traveled from far for this. The festival ended with a bonfire. One day, Jubilo, out of anger, embarrassed her best friend in the open. Anika was shocked as others looked on. When she had the chance, she immediately put Jubilo in her place. She visited her father and mentioned the issue with Jubilo during the conversation. She could talk to him about anything. Her dream of working in the capital came to pass with the help of Dr. Dave. The Net Hospital was the best hospital in the capital. Though challenging, Anika quickly adjusted to the very busy environment as she was often on duty. Living with her auntie and uncle in the capital gave her more exposure. They would pass by for their usual medical checkups, and they were very proud of her, impressed with how well her father had raised her. Her father traveled from Lesedi and surprised her at work one day. Anika was overjoyed. Dr. Dave also made his first visit. This touched her deeply. She had been looking forward to this. On his 7th visit, he proposed to her and she accepted. Anika started missing Juby. She called one day promising to visit her since she had plans of visiting her father in the village. After work, she spoke for hours on phone with Dr. Dave. Back in Akuya Hospital, the Nurse of the Month recognition had been introduced to motivate nurses to work harder. Diala came first, then came Lamid, and Jubilo followed in June to the surprise of many. Her father was so proud of her. She gained more confidence to keep up with the good work. As time went by, Dr. Dave and Anika's relationship grew stronger as they discovered new things about each other. Saturday mornings were her usual market days. On her way to the market one morning, Jubilo ran into one of her patients whom she took very good care of some time ago after the incident with a senior nursing officer. She couldn't make her out initially, but the old woman did and introduced herself. Jubilo finally recognized her and was delighted to see her doing much better. Affectionately called Jima by most people who knew her, the old lady exchanged contacts with Jubilo. "You can call me if you need anything," Jubilo said. Jima was grateful. She often passed by Jima's shop at 12 noon to pick up fresh tomatoes since her prices were affordable and tomatoes were often in good condition. Jubilo promised to do the same the following market day. She always kept her word. "Guess who I met in the market today?" "Sham's wife," she said to her only daughter, Callista. "Wife? But my brother is not yet married." "I know, but there's something different about this young lady. The same lady who took care of me when I visited the hospital. If only you wouldn't mind meeting her." They both loved and teased Sham. Jima had 2 children. Callista, who was an industrious fashion designer and a single mother, she lost her husband after she had their 2nd child and had been living with her mother since. Her children spent most of their weekends with Jima, which allowed her some time to meet deadlines for customers. Their presence in Jima's home made the house very lively. Sham, the only son of Jima, was a great source of strength for his mother and sister. He owned a medium-sized block factory in town and was very committed to his business. He had been searching for a wife for some time after his last failed relationship and had given up. Jima mentioned Jubilo to him. That won't be bad, so you mean I can get to meet her this weekend? I trust you. Sham agreed to pass by his mother's shop in the market around the same time Jubilo gave Jima so he could meet her. That market day came and he was glad he showed up. Jubilo had no idea what was going on. The two spoke for a while and after she bought some tomatoes, exchanged phone numbers and stayed in touch. Jima was glad. Around the same time, Anika was back home to visit her father and best friend. He was in the market today. I felt this joy when our eyes met. It was like he knew me from somewhere. Who are you referring to? Anika asked Jubilo. I think I met the right man. They both laughed and spoke at length about Sham. Exactly 1 year after meeting at the market, Sham and Jubilo walked down the aisle in a beautiful ceremony with Anika as the maid of honor. Dr. Dave and Anika also tied the knot a few months afterwards, and Jubilo was the maid of honor. What this story teaches: some friendships are a gift from God. Never take a good friend for granted. Don't transfer the problems from the home to work. Not everyone gives second chances. The atmosphere in the home always has a positive or negative impact on children. Like Jubilo, you can be a better person if you are determined to. And you never know where you will meet your future spouse. Always be nice. Thank you.